Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, madam. We are from Group 5. My name is Mgm4105. My magic number is 200140. So let's move to the next part. For the introduction, the title of this study is a revisit intention to halal destination. In this chapter, the study will be examined in the terms of research background, problem statement, research question, research objectives, and hypothesis development. Problem statement, research questions, research objectives, and hypothesis development. So for the research background, in nowadays the age, there are many people who decide to travel from the one place to another with their friends and family. This is because travel has become more convenient compared to the past. Traveling has become there are many types of transportation available for tourists to choose from the travel purpose. People can travel to any place by train, car, plane, and ship. Revisit intention is the willingness of tourists to visit the place. When the intention of tourists to visit Malaysia is low, this may affect the number of tourist arrival becomes low. According to the Here's Chairman 2020. These largest contributors to Malaysia's GDP are manufacturing, finance, and tourism. The largest contributors to GDP is manufacturing goods, and this biggest tourist is the third large contributor to Malaysia's GDP, and its contributors about 5.9 to total GDP in 2018. So we can see that Malaysia is relying to the tourism increase its GDP. So our group research questions. The first one is what is the relationship between self-exploring and revisit intention to Malaysia? The second is what is the relation between halal and the revisit intention to Malaysia? The last one is what is the relationship between food tourism and revisit intention to Malaysia? Let's move to the research objectives. The first one is to assess the relationship between halal credibility and decision. The second one is to assess the relationship between halal credibility and consumers' effective. The last one is to assess the relationship between effective community commitment and the customer halal revisit continue intention. So our group hypothesis is relationship between social environment and revisit intention in halal destination, relation between facilities and revisit intention in halal destination. The third one is relationship between service and the revisit intention in halal destination. The fourth one is relation between food and beverage and the revisit intention in halal destination. The last one is the relationship between local and staff and revisit intention in halal destination. Okay, that's all for my part. Thank you.
Now, I'll continue with the literature review. So, we have two series. The first one is sensory experience theory. This theory was introduced by Krishna. It shows that marketing activities that affect consumers' perception and the judgment through their sensory experience. So, for example, the dining environment and atmosphere can affect the behavior of customer, and the brand image will be built based on this. As a result, halal restaurants should improve sensory experience of customers by improving food, service, and environment design, so as to influence the customer satisfaction. Next one is customer satisfaction theory. This theory was introduced by Keys. It shows customer satisfaction would directly affect consumers' behavioral decision of repeated purchase. Food, beverage, and services are imperative elements for long-term customer loyalty. As a result, halal restaurants should enhance the value of customer experience and analyze the common concerns of organizational groups. Then let's move on to the justification of the hypothesis. In terms of the relationship between social environment and revised intention to halal destination. Jiang combined expectation confirmation theory with social environment to study the impact of repeated purchase intention on food delivery platforms based on the research perspective of sensory experience. The result showed that consumers will be affected by the surrounding and the religion. So, to conclude, there is a positive relationship between social environment and the revised intention to halal destination. The second one is the relationship between facilities and the revised intention to halal destination. The research shows that four dimensions of restaurants, facilities, expectation, confirmation, certification, and intention of the continuous use to form the ETC model based on the research theory of ETC model and took into account the influence of information system users on consumers' continuous consumption behavior. There is a positive relationship between facilities and the revised intention to halal destination. Then is the relationship between services and the revised intention to halal destination. Research shows that service automation improves the customer satisfaction by providing accurate and constant service to customers every time. There is a positive relationship between service and the revised intention to halal destination. The fourth one is a relationship between food and beverage and revised intention to halal destination. Research shows that consumers' perception of food nutrition and TFF safety have an impact on perceived health benefits and emotional commitment on purchase intention. There is a positive relationship between food, beverage, and revised intention to halal destination. The relationship between local and staff and revised intention to halal destination. Research shows that improved variable communication between staff and customers may improve customer safety. Confident and competent staff can ensure that customers feel safe and comfortable to create a desire to spend. There is a positive relationship between local staff and revised intention to halal destination. Okay, the next page is the framework. As you can see in the left side is independent variables. They are respectively social environment, facilities, services, food and beverage, local and staff. And the dependent variable is the revised intention in halal destination.
Next, I'll continue the methodology. Our research design is quantitative research. Our questionnaire will be distributed through the following sections. Section A, perception toward halal destination. Section B, perception toward the sanitation situation. Section C, demographic survey. To be more specific, it can be seen from religions, gender, and age. Last but not least is internal skills. They are classified as point 1 to 7. Strongly disagree, disagree, slightly disagree, neutral, slightly agree, agree, and strongly agree. Next is data collection process. Our sample size is 200 students. Sampling technique is judgmental sampling and snowball sampling. Judgment sampling works best when only a limited number of people in the population has the quality that the researcher expects the target population to have. Snowball sampling is widely used when the population is unknown and rare, and is difficult to silence subjects to assemble into a study sample. And next, we use data collection method. In details, questionnaire would be sent to students of different religions in the form of Google Docs. I'll pass to the next presenter.
After frequency analysis of the data, it can be concluded that women accounted for the largest proportion, reaching 72.7%. Among the ages 21 to 30 years old accounted for the largest proportion, reaching 64.5%. Among religions, Islam accounts for the largest proportion, reaching 81.8%. In the country of origin, Brunei Darussalam accounted for the largest proportion, reaching 14.5%, and Japan accounted for the smallest proportion, reaching 0.9%. Among the highest level of education, undergraduate degree accounts for the largest proportion, reaching 70%. In the visiting group, with friends accounts for the largest proportion, reaching 37.3%. In the purpose of visiting, fascinating history and culture accounted for the largest proportion, reaching 26.4%, and business trips accounted for the smallest proportion, reaching 4.5%. Descriptive analysis was performed on the simple data. The mean and standard deviation of the data were obtained, as shown in the following figure. Data can be considered normal if skewness is between -1 and +1. However, values between -2 and +2 are in many cases acceptable. Acceptance range for the kurtosis is between -3 or +3 as proposed. Based on the data in the normality test table, the skewness and kurtosis values are within acceptable limits. The data is parametric and normally distributed.
Hello everyone, my name is Wang Shaojie, and for my part, we perform common variance method on the data, and the results are shown in the following table. Because if the total variance extracted by one factor exceeds 15%, common method bias is present in the data. So according to the output, there is no problem with the common method bias in this data, since the total variance extracted by one factor is 39.428%, and it is less than the recommended threshold of 15%. This is the reliability test, and the results are shown in the following table. According to the Nanoli, the reliability coefficient of Cronbach was acceptable if the alpha coefficient of Cronbach was greater than 0.7. So according to the output, all variables Cronbach alpha are greater than 0.7. So all items are reliable. This is the regression analysis, and according to the output, all of the variables can be used since the one-word thing is between 1 and 3. Second, R is equal to the 0.529, means medium relationship between independent variables and dependent variables. Last is R square is equal to the 0.280, means about 28% variance in revised intention is explained by independent values. So according to this output, since all the tolerance values more than 0.1, VIF value less than 10, multicollinearity issues does not exist in this data set. And last is only social environment is considered significant since p-value is not more than 0.05.
Okay, next part is the conclusion part. The first one is the hypothesis one, the relationship between the social environment and the revised intention in halal destination. The results revealed that social environment, which is p equal to 0.009, which is less than 0.05, has a positive relationship between the decision convenience. This result is consistent with the previous student that report a positive relationship between the environment and revised intention in halal destination. The second hypothesis 2 is relationship between the facilities and revisit intention in HALA destination. Based on the independent simple test run to the test, this hypothesis, the result shows that t equal to 0.983, which is more than 0.1, and p equal to 0.328, which is more than 0.05. And there is no significant difference between the facilities and revisit intention in HALA destination. The hypothesis 3 is the relationship between the service and revisit intention in HALA destination. Based on the independent simple test run to test this hypothesis, the result shows that t equal to 1.332, which is more than 0.1, and p equal to 0.186, which is more than 0.05. So there is no significant difference between the service and revisit intention in HALA destination. The hypothesis 4 is relationship between the food and beverage and revisit intention in HALA destination. Based on the independent simple test run to the test this hypothesis, the result shows that t equal to 0.228, which is more than 0.1, and p equal to 0.820, which is more than 0.05. So there is no significant difference between the food beverage and revisit intention in HALA destination. The hypothesis 5 is relationship between the local staff and revisit intention in HALA destination. Based on the independent simple test run to test this hypothesis, the result shows that t equal to 0.370, which is more than 0.1, and p equal to 0.712, which is more than 0.05. There is also no significant difference between the local staff and the revisit intention in HALA destination. Our research also has some limitation. The first one is only a simple size of 110 is used. Second one is respondent are mostly in the age range of 21 to 30 years old, and also have some recommendations for the future study. The respondents are mostly aged between 21 to 30, are very few above that age range. Hence, the future research can include more age ranges above the mentioned age range. The number of the respondents is only 110, so future research can study a big sample for more pieces result to provide more accurate meaning values and provide a smaller, more ring of error. Okay, so that's all for our group presentation. Thanks for watching.